Have you ever had that feeling? You know exactly what you should be doing, at work, for your health, whatever it is, but you just don't do it? It's got to be one of the most frustrating things we deal with, right? That gap between what we know and what we actually do. Well, let's dive in and figure out how we can finally close that gap for good. I mean, the leadership expert Marshall Goldsmith just nails it with this quote. The problem isn't a lack of information. Come on, we've all got the books, the podcasts, the plans. The real challenge, the thing we all struggle with, is the execution. It's that leap from simply knowing to actually doing.
And believe it or not, this struggle actually has a name, akrasia. It's this ancient Greek term for that feeling of acting against your own better judgment. So if you've ever beaten yourself up over this, just know, you're not alone. This is a real psychological thing, not some kind of personal failure. And just understanding that, that's a huge first step.
Okay, so if it's not about a lack of knowledge, what's really going on here? Why do we get so stuck in this loop? Let's peel back the layers and look at the forces that are working against us.
So a lot of it comes down to what psychologists call time inconsistency, but really it's simpler than that. Think of it like a battle going on in your brain between two versions of you. You've got your future self. That's the one who's the master planner, setting all these great goals to get in shape or learn a new skill. But then there's your present self. That's the one who actually has to do the work. And you know what? It wants a reward right now. And it will almost always choose the comfort of today over the payoff of tomorrow.
Now here's where it gets kinda tricky. Our own success can actually become a trap. Marshall Goldsmith calls this the success delusion. We look at our accomplishments and we look at our behaviors, even the bad ones, and we connect them. We start to think, well, I must be successful because I do these things, when the truth might be that we're succeeding in spite of them. And that makes it really, really hard to see why we should ever change.
And on top of all that, our own minds can play tricks on us through these things called cognitive distortions. They're like faulty shortcuts our brain takes. Take emotional reasoning, for example. You feel like you had an unproductive day, so you decide it's a fact, even if you actually got a ton done. Or the mental filter. You get 10 pieces of positive feedback, but you obsess over that one tiny critique. These thought patterns are like silent saboteurs working against our best intentions.
All right, so we've diagnosed the problem. We know it's holding us back, so how do we actually move forward? Well, the answer lies in a really powerful shift in thinking, focusing on systems, not just goals.
The writer James Clear makes this incredible point. If you're struggling to change, the problem isn't you, it's your system. See, goals are great. They give us a direction, but it's the systems that actually get us there. A goal is, I want to run a marathon. A system is your training schedule, your meal prep, your stretching routine. The big idea here is to stop staring at the finish line and start obsessing over building a great road to get there.
This visual here really brings that idea to life. It shows the layers of behavior change. And the most important thing to see is the direction of the arrows. True, lasting change happens from the inside out. Most of us try to change from the outside in. We focus on the outcome, the goal. But the most powerful change starts at the very core, your identity. It's about who you believe you are. When you change that, the right processes and outcomes just naturally fall into place.
Let's make this super practical. A goal-focused mindset says, I want to lose 20 pounds. Okay, fine. But an identity-based mindset says, I am the type of person who is active and values my health. Can you feel the difference? Every single time you go for a walk or choose a healthy meal, you're not just working towards a number on a scale, you are literally casting a vote for that new identity. And that is so much more powerful. Okay, so the mindset is locked in, identity over goals. Now, let's get tactical. What are some practical strategies you can actually use to make these changes stick without completely burning yourself out?
This is a fantastic framework for sustainable growth. And notice the key ideas here. First, define your direction. Pick just one thing to focus on for 90 days. Why? Because it stops you from getting overwhelmed. Next, schedule recovery. Put rest on your calendar just like a meeting, because that's when the real growth happens. Monitor your progress weekly, not daily. That way you see the real trends and don't get discouraged by tiny dips. And finally, you have to celebrate the wins. Document every milestone, because that's what keeps that motivation engine running.
Here's a cool little exercise you can try. Instead of asking for feedback, which is all about the past, try feed forward. It's simple. Pick one behavior you want to change. Go to someone you trust and ask them for 2 simple, positive suggestions for the future. Now, here's the one and only rule, and it's the most important part. You can only listen and say, thank you. That's it. No defending yourself, no, yeah, but it keeps the whole thing positive and focused on solutions.
So, to pull all of this together, it really helps to create a simple personal development plan. First, just reflect. Be honest about where you are right now. Then, define some clear, smart goals. You know the drill, specific, measurable, all that. Then ask yourself, what do I need to get there? A new skill, a mentor, and finally, create a real action plan. Break it all down into tiny, manageable steps with a timeline. This turns a fuzzy wish into an actual roadmap.
So we've covered the why, the what, and the how. We know why we get stuck and what to do about it. But now it really just comes down to one thing. What's your next step? Before you jump into any new change, any new plan, I want you to ask yourself this one powerful question. It's an acronym, AIWATT. It stands for Am I willing at this time to make the investment required? This is your final gut check. It forces you to be brutally honest with yourself about your commitment level right now, not someday. And you know what? If the answer is no, that's okay. It's better to be honest and wait than to set yourself up to fail.
But if the answer is yes, if you are willing, then this is the final thought I want to leave you with. Don't try to change your whole world overnight. Just focus on today. Ask yourself, what's the one small, ridiculously easy thing I can do right now to get just 1% better? What's that one tiny action that casts a vote for the person I want to become? Because at the end of the day, knowing isn't doing. And that next small step you take, that's the only thing that really matters.